And so I'm back, huh? Wow. So a lot has happened, hasn't it? Yeah. In terms of growth as a programmer and as a developer, welcome back. Code of the streets, code of the streets. Who's colder than me? Colder than me. Oh man, and I'm really starting to understand the mission now. So the mission is to give you that, be the faithful and discreet slave, to give you that food at the proper time, I guess, huh? Right? Bring you that information that you need. And that means I gotta slave away at my craft. I gotta keep working and developing. I gotta keep bringing you the information that you need so that you can succeed, man. And, you know, here now, you rebels, you know what I mean? And we're gonna break the rock and bring you some water. Alright, let's get it. You know, the gods get angry when you bring fire to man, but somebody gotta do it. Somebody gotta crack the atom, you know? Somebody gotta reach out to y'all niggas and let you know that it's here. You know, Moses may not be here with us, but you are in the promised land, and it is flowing with milk and honey. Okay, so I'm back again to help. Lot that's happened. Actually, if you want to get an indicator of timing, you know, probably right when crypto crashed, right before it, at the height, I drew that. So, and I wanted you to buy it. I wanted you to get in Ether at 4.3. It crashed. We're down to 1700, I think. Now it's back to 32. This is a great time. You should get some, please, if you're watching this. You're one of the originals, man. Get some Ether. You're gonna need it. It's the truth. It powers the blockchain and all the other altcoins and tokens. Right? We are entering Web 3.0. Yeah. You know. I want you to learn. I'm starting to understand a little bit better what it is that we're doing here. Alright? So, what we're really doing is giving you the tools for the future, what's coming. This world is changing very fast, right? And I want you aware of those changes and able to program and control your environment like you're going to need to, using a programming language of your choice. Also to have resources. So, just a tidbit of information. This is not financial advice. Alright. Why you gonna be coming from my black ass? Oh, now you done messed up there, Mr. Parrish. Oh, but Ether, the gas the scientists used to believe filled the universe. The ether. What Jay-Z felt when Nas burned him. And I love Hope. Ray Hope. But he lost that fight. Even Ali got fucked up. Yeah. So what are we actually going to consider? Well, what I've learned, and let's bring it back together, because there's a reason I've been off for months. I was developing the Java Android application. The demo is done. I started that at the beginning of the year, and the demo is finally done, hosted on the AWS cloud using Elastic Beanstalk. I learned a lot about the similarity between JavaScript and DOM scripting in Angular and React and Android, and the XML, the use of XML to render the values that are held in the state of Java objects and within the activities, which are Java classes. Yeah. One language lends itself to the other, and our focus being Java, what I want you to get now, it's like I'm learning how to forge the key for you. So here's the key. So far now, you should get your Java certifications. OCA Java SE 8. Yes, I know that we're on 11 now, but the core skills here, this is the actuals process. Start here. This is the cert. This is what you need to start prepping for. And this is a little bit outside of the algorithmic work that we're doing, right? With the insert sort, bubble sort, some of the other things that we've been talking about, working on the algorithms. See, I'm starting to understand the focus of this has to be a little more technical, a little more direct. This will get you closer. This gives you a pure understanding of the Java language. If you can debug it, then you can write it, right? And it'll also get you in the, it'll help to get you in the door. Especially when you look like this. Right, I'm sorry. Just keeping it real. Minority candidates face an uphill battle, okay? They're not looking at us like we're good kids. They're wondering if we're pissed off, right? What are we hiring? And is this person actually truly qualified to do it? So when you walk in and you have this certification completed, it speaks for you. So that's why I think that for my audience, my niggas, you need this. Right? So, and it teaches you the language very quickly. I want you to get this book, and I want you to look up this company. Infoware. They have a fantastic tutorial. This costs like $10, and there's a ton of questions. Very challenging, rigorous, that teach you about the language and all the aspects of that exam. Alright, so that's the first thing I want to say, is that while I'm not pivoting from the focus on algorithms, data structures, analysis, time complexity, we're going to go into those things, and we will cover the different algorithms. But what I've learned in the time since I made the last video is how to really begin to calculate time complexity and understand what it is that you're working with. And basically, it's very intriguing. It's number 2. You're counting in 2. Right? So, in all sorts of odd ways, and all the different properties of the value of 2 going out, binary logic, and calculating the complexity of that on an imaginary machine. So that's the first step. Look, get the Java cert, and then we start talking about time complexity. And then we start talking about algorithms. Right? Or rather, it's not that I'm understanding that I have to make a different set of videos. I gotta bring in more information constantly. This is going to be a giant wheel that we start spinning and turning, and it's going to change. It doesn't make sense for me to focus on like going through page by page through a book. The book that we started with was this one right here, and I highly recommend that. Java Programming Interviews Exposed. And so like based on the original 5 videos that I've already created, you know, like the next step would be to go to Quicksort. But that's not really what the purpose of this is, to follow like a linear progression through one text. The purpose of these videos, I'm now starting to understand, are to bring in information to this environment that I'm trying to create, enough that people can understand the connection between hardware, software, programming, career. There's a nexus there. There's a right, and it's not going to be accomplished just looking at sorting algorithms, although sorting algorithms will help, right? But like, what we're really talking about is developing your potential as a programmer, and now more than ever, I think I'm correct. It's that certification that's going to get you there. It was the first step. So you guys got to get certified, Java certified. Start there with, bring it back up, OCA Java SE8. And the in-through-where videos. And but there's also in-through-where videos on YouTube, a ton of them. Great videos. The guy explains the questions using both sides, the paid material and then also using those videos that they make available once you get the paid material, or if you just find the videos. You guys are going to have to do a little digging, but you'll find them. You can be prepared for this test and learn Java faster than, or it's the fastest way that you could learn it, because just writing code isn't going to get you there, right? It's not. You won't know what to cover in the Java. And if your projects aren't vast enough, or if you're not on the level where you're becoming a software engineer, if you're still just dealing with methods and for loops and if statements and switches, and not seeing the big picture or understanding how you can make a piece of software, then writing code, while helpful, won't get you there. This is a very specific type of process, akin to learning algebra, how to pass this exam. You just need to know the rules and implement those rules. So that's the first step. Get certified, right? Alright, so let's stop. Alright. And once you're certified, there's no real way to say it, but maybe I could show you. This book right here, Foundations of Algorithms Using Java Pseudocode. Man, it's like It's like the New Testament, bro. It's like, you're not gonna, it's the best. It's the best book out there, right? So this is what I'm talking about with the concept of starting out and you start to see what the complexity analysis involves. It's really just counting by two. It's hard to describe, but it's really fascinating on a mathematical level, that it all goes back to this binary sort of logic and understanding how to calculate the complexity of it and the use of proofs. Yeah. So if there is an advantage that I got from the time that I spent working on a master's in computer science, and that was like a third, I got like a third of it done. I did C programming, C+, computer organization, 1 and 2, 501, 502, network technology, but one of the best parts of the master's program was the discrete math class. So discrete math is a powerful tool that I would encourage you to start to use, because in order to understand this text, okay, you're going to have some awareness of discrete mathematics. Here, let me get you another text that I think you'd find helpful. Essentials of Discrete Math, David J. Hunter. This book is series 2. Cover the logic foundation that you need: function sets, graphs, proofs, propositional logic. It'll get you started. You're gonna have to do that. Right, you're gonna have to. Okay, so and you know, so what do you mean you're gonna have to do that, right? You know when I did it. I tell you when I did it. I was going to the University of Baltimore, working full time, and working on my A+, Net+, Security Plus certifications while I was going to school full time, working full time, and when I had off time, I would work on discrete mathematics. Page by page by page. There's another book by Kenneth Rosen. It's fantastic. I used that and I covered a lot of that material, worked my way in, and then I got into the master's program and I was slightly prepared for that class. The implementation of it was something different, right? Then you start to really, when you see a teacher use it, then you start to understand what's happening. Which is why you got to look at those Java videos on N-through-where, the N-through-where Java videos on YouTube, because once you see someone using the principles of this, then you start to understand what Java is. And you see a programmer. It's different than watching tutorials of people building things. This is all just how a language works, the rules of an intricate game that you have to memorize. Discrete mathematics. You have to know what proofs are. You have to know functions. This is part of what I've been doing the past couple weeks, and I've been dipping back into those waters, looking at how you calculate time complexity, and now even the symbols used in those calculations are the same that you learn to understand in a discrete math course. this guy right here, right, with maybe this equal to 0, and then this having a value, and n is equal to 2, and then there might be a value over here. What is the famous one? N times n minus 1 over 2. Something like that. I don't know, right? But getting, I mean, I haven't done this in the master's course was about 5 years ago, and I just started to look at these formulas again. But you have to understand what it is that you're looking at there. I don't think that's, I'm not sure if that's accurate. That's just off the top of my head. Yep. And this is, there you go, and that's a perfect example, is that this is what we're doing, you know. Yeah. Mathematical induction, that's what I'm thinking of. N plus 1. And maybe it goes both ways, I'm not sure. Now that's way, please don't, I'm not a mathematician, this is what I'm saying. I gotta go over it again, I just begun this process again, but if that looks like a foreign language, then you have some work to do before you try to go interview at these companies. That's something else that's happening more and more, is that I'm gaining an appreciation, even after stopping the Masters in Computer Science, because I needed to work and write code. Now I'm starting to gain an appreciation for what the undergraduate in computer science gives you, which is a firm foundation. So I looked up MSU, Denver, what the curriculum is for a computer science undergraduate program, and there are specific courses just on time complexity or theory of calculation, and what they cover prepares them in a way that in our you can buy it in 12-week culture, you're just not going to be prepared for. They're selling you the boot camps, you know. I think more and more in the past couple months I'm just seeing how it's just a matter of wash, rinse, and repeat, like it's working out. Like you get what you put in when you go to the gym. And that's just how it is. It's the same with programming. So am I ready to be a programmer? You know, after writing, so now I have 2 major pieces. I have the one app that I made for the construction company that just needs to be polished, and then I have the second app that I just finished. That's a totally different beast, different language, but the same process in a sense. I think in a way, yeah, I am ready. It depends on the right company, the right project. I'd like to work on a third one, and I do have one that I am about to start. This is going to use React and React Native, converting a previous app over, but it's going to be an interesting combination of everything I've ever done. And finally getting to use React, right? And it's necessary for the project. And that's another thing, is like the rightness of my conviction to go with the tool that was needed for the project, including learning the tool in order to create the project, because it's the correct tool. So therefore, that's what I need to do as a programmer to make it happen. Like figuring that out and being right is eye-opening. Because what it means is that at any given time, I'm only just a problem solver. I'm not a Java developer or a JavaScript developer or a full stack developer or a front-end developer or a back-end. I am a problem solver, and there's tools to be used. The other thing that's really interesting is how now what I'm doing ties in with my day job. How managing networks, physical networks, maps to creating software that's built on virtual networks. You still need an understanding of both, because software isn't just one program. It's now a collection of virtual nodes that you write code for and have interact asynchronously. See, this is something that I understand now that I couldn't even express before. Writing software as opposed to being a programmer. Now I'm becoming a software engineer. So I guess this is a little bit different code of the streets. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna build off of all of this. The next one probably will go back into some sort of algorithm that needs to be learned. But what I think I also need to do is maybe add a little more background so that you aren't just walking around in a little algorithmic bubble with no practical experience or know-how. We might need to go back to the nitty-gritty basics and start to cover what Java is. Either way, code of the streets, code of the streets, who's coded than me, code of